everyone, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today I'm joining QANTAS to fly from Sydney to Perth across the country. The flight is about 5 to 5.5 hours on a 737. So this time I'm flying economy class. The last time when I did this flight it was in business class on an A330. So that was, as you can imagine, it was pretty comfortable, flat seats. Individual covered suites, so you were pretty much hidden from everyone. So this time around I'm going to be roughing it out in economy class. It's a non-meal, I think it's a non-meal flight, so you don't have main meals served, so you only have snacks because it's in between meal times. Yeah, so I'm interested to see how this flight is like during the pandemic. QANTAS did mention about bringing back warm meals. It's supposed to start, I think, either today or tomorrow. I am not sure, I can't really remember. But anyway, yeah, I just got off a flight from Canberra earlier on, so now I'm heading towards my gate to board the flight to Perth. So let's go.
With the airport so empty, any little flurry of activity would be magnified 10 times. So I got a little excited when I saw a news crew with heavy police presence. My immediate thought was a celebrity coming through. Turns out it was an interstate extradition of a wanted felon. These days, it is compulsory to mask up when flying. Therefore, no one really reached for the flywall packs provided by the airline because everyone would be masked up by now. Waiting for us for this flight across the continent was a 737-800, which was less than 10 years old. Her name is Whyalla, which is a coastal town in South Australia. By the way, here I am in Whyalla. The 737s on QANTAS are configured with 3 rows of business class recliners laid out in a 2x2 fashion and 162 economy seats. These economy seats are configured in a standard 3x3 with a seat pitch of 30 inches and a width of about 17.5 inches. Today, I am seated in 29A. I normally take the last few rows when flying economy, in hope that the last few rows would be empty. No such luck today, as the flight is 100% full. For an aircraft which was just shy of 10 years old, it wasn't in a good condition. Air conditioning wasn't working well, seat fittings were loose, cushions were so flat from servicing thousands upon thousands of backsides, and I even had my window casing held together with tape. Flying distance from Sydney to Perth is 3,260 kilometers. It is one of the longest domestic flights in the country, and today's flight clocked in at 4 hours 55 minutes. After we were settled into our seats, we weren't going anywhere quickly, because catering forgot to load cutleries into the aircraft. Would not be funny trying to scoop gravy with our hands now, would it? We had to wait another 20 minutes for the missing items to get delivered. Once we were safely at cruising altitude, the smell of food filled the cabin. Looks like we were getting served warm meals after all. Service started from the front, and we had a choice of a lamb salad or a braised beef with mushroom sauce. By the time they got to us, we were left with the beef. That would have been my choice anyway. It was served with buttered polenta, and I know this will be good because I had the exact same meal in business class back in November. The only time you're allowed to remove your mask is during mealtimes. Otherwise, you'll be sternly told by the flight attendants to put them back on, as it happened several times to other passengers in my vicinity during this rather long and frankly extremely uncomfortable flight. Despite flying up here, the air conditioning really wasn't cold and the cabin was incredibly stuffy. By the time we were done with our meals, we were overflying my home airport of Adelaide. Passengers on the right side would have seen the city and the airport from up here. For me, my view was that of the southern beaches like Naslin and Aldinga. I can't believe I'll be right down there tomorrow after returning from Perth. As we made our way over the Australian Bight, the crew came about to hand out little chocolate balls. I understand QANTAS uninstalled their entertainment options during COVID to save costs. Therefore, only the flight map was playing on a loop on our seatback TVs. Not that I mind, because I'm more interested in what's outside the window anyway. On the 1st of March, Perth was being lashed by some of the most severe thunderstorms ever seen. This weather system was so widespread, it covered not only Perth, but much of the southern part of Western Australia as well. Even though we were flying up high, we felt the turbulence as soon as we crossed the Bight and coasted into WA. Seatbelt signs came on and remained that way right till we landed. If you had to pee, just too bad because everyone had to be strapped in. This evening's approach was a southerly one. The storm front had passed and the city was bracing for part 2 later that evening. Therefore, it was a very bumpy approach. Passengers seated on the left side of the aircraft, like me, were treated to a spectacular approach starting with the Fremantle Harbour and then following the Canning Highway and Swan River with the CBD glittering away. Approach this evening was for runway 03.
Hong Kong before they change the
Oh my goodness.
Like sitting up. Yeah, no chance of taking off again then. Not enough velocity to get linked.
After our plane was docked at the terminal, as the ground crew prepared us for disembarkation, we were told to remain on board because the police weren't ready for our flight. With engines turned off, The already stuffy cabin became unbearable as most of us started squirming in our seats, getting uncomfortably moist. It took us more than 20 minutes to deplane by sections, and because we were all funneled into a narrow walkway, the lane from the terminal stretched into the aero-bridge and back into the plane. It soon became incredibly clear that there were only about 5 police counters clearing arriving passengers, so they could only process one flight at a time. As we were delayed, our flight coincided together with an earlier Brisbane flight. This airport has infrastructure not updated since the 80s, and it wasn't made to handle this sort of human traffic management. It isn't ideal at all.
Alright, here we are in Perth. Finally, out from that crazy, disorganized, I don't know what you call that. It was just so badly organized. It took us, how long now? 40 minutes to get off that plane. 40 bloody minutes. We were sitting there for so long, and the air conditioning was turned off. It was so stuffy in the plane, so it took us 40 minutes to get off the plane. Well, anyway, that's done and dusted. I'm now in Perth. I just need to go eat because I'm so hungry. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the trip report, and I'm here in Perth overnight, and then tomorrow I fly back to Adelaide on Jetstar. So hopefully you've enjoyed this series of trip reports and you've been following me. Good on you. And for those of you who haven't, why not hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell notification icon as well, so you can get notified the next time when one of my reports go live. All right. So in the meantime, take care all of you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around again. Bye.